welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today, well, it's to unpack a really fascinating subject from quite a historical medical text.
That's right.
We're zeroing in on Bryonia alba, you probably know it as wild hops,
hmm
and we're looking at how it's described in really intricate detail, actually,
Yeah.
in William Boericke's Homeopathic Materia Medica.
And what's really remarkable here for you listening is that this deep dive, it isn't just about, a plant.
Right.
It's a chance to understand a substance through this very unique lens, a really particular system of observation that goes back centuries.
Yeah.
So our goal really is to pull out the most important insights into how Bryonia alba is, well, understood to act on the body. And we're relying only on this source material.
Exactly.
Think of it like a historical shortcut, a way to get really well informed on this specific remedy picture.
And when I say detailed, I really mean it. The source material, it just paints such a vivid picture.
Yeah.
Almost idiosyncratic,
Right.
full of specific symptoms, characteristics.
Very specific.
So we're going to uncover what makes Bryonia alba's profile so distinct, really help you grasp its unique fingerprint. Let's unpack this.
Okay.
So if we strip it right down to the absolute core of Bryonia alba, the first thing that just jumps out is its signature pain.
Ah, yes. The pain.
It's described as this distinctive stitching, tearing kind of sensation. And the crucial part, it's profoundly worse with motion,
Any motion.
any motion, and importantly, better by rest.
That modality is key.
And what's really remarkable is how pervasive this pattern is. This specific aggravation from movement, you find it everywhere in the body.
Everywhere.
Though maybe particularly pronounced in the chest area, and often worse from pressure too, right?
Exactly right. This worse by motion, better by rest, it isn't just, one symptom among many. It feels like the defining principle.
Yeah, the essence.
The absolute essence of Bryonia's action, yes. It's like the thread that ties so many of its different effects together.
Mhm.
And directly connected to this, there's the second major theme, this widespread dryness.
Ah, the dryness.
Yes, dryness of mucous membranes throughout the body. Just imagine your mouth, your throat, your entire internal lining feeling, well, parched.
That paints a really clear picture. And then there's the person themselves, the patient.
The disposition.
The Materia Medica describes them as exceedingly irritable. Like truly everything seems to put them in a bad mood.
Very touchy, yes.
And the text even describes this specific kind of delirium where the patient wants to go home or they're preoccupied, talks of business, even when they're clearly not at work or home. It's a very particular mental state, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And this irritability, it often seems to correlate with a certain physical type.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the source notes a robust constitution, sort of firm fiber, often a dark complexion, maybe a tendency towards being lean and irritable, of course.
Right.
And interestingly, Bryonia's effects are often more marked on the right side of the body.
The right side. Okay.
Yes. And symptoms tend to be worse in the evening, often worse in the open air, or during warm weather, especially after cold days.
So specific weather conditions too.
Very specific. And alongside this, there's often a general physical weakness, a kind of all-pervading apathy, and a key detail. The complaints tend to develop slowly.
Slowly. Insidious.
Exactly. They creep up on you.
Okay, now this is fascinating. Let's take a sort of journey head to toe and see how these core signatures, the pain, the dryness, the irritability, the motion sensitivity, how they actually show up in different parts of the body.
Good idea.
Starting with the head, you see this characteristic bursting, splitting headache,
Ugh, sounds awful.
doesn't it? Feeling like everything would be pressed out, or the text says, as if hit by a hammer from within.
Wow.
But what's key is, again, it's profoundly worse from any motion. Stooping, even just opening the eyes.
Motion again.
Exactly. And patients might also get vertigo, nausea, maybe feel faint when they try to get up.
Right, faintness on rising. And following that pattern, the nasal symptoms are quite unique too.
Oh yeah, like what?
Well, the source mentions frequent bleeding of the nose, specifically when menstruation, the menses, should be happening,
Instead of the period.
or just in the morning sometimes.
Yeah.
And remarkably, this nosebleed often relieves the headache,
Really? That's counterintuitive.
isn't it? There's also cormeza, basically a head cold, but with shooting and aching pains in the forehead.
Okay. Now, moving down to the mouth and throat,
Yeah,
that pervasive dryness we talked about, it's really front and center here.
very prominent.
Parched, dry, cracked lips. Widespread dryness of the mouth, the tongue, the throat. And this leads to excessive thirst, but specifically for large amounts, like big gulps of cold water.
Large drops, yes. not sipping.
Right. The text also notes a bitter taste and specific tongue coatings, often yellowish or maybe dark brown. So the dryness isn't just a feeling, it actually affects how they drink.
Precisely. And then in the stomach, the most characteristic symptom, I think, is that feeling of a heavy stone right after eating.
Stone in the stomach. Oof.
Yeah. And the stomach area itself can be really sensitive to touch. There's often vomiting too, usually bile and water right after eating.
Immediately after.
Often immediately after eating, yes. And notably, it's worse with warm drinks.
Worse with warm. Okay, another one of those specific details.
Exactly. It's like anything warm just upsets the stomach more.
Got it. And for the abdomen, the liver region seems to get special mention.
It does. It can be swollen, sore, kind of tense,
Tensive, yeah.
with burning pain and stitches that are, well, you guessed it.
Worse from pressure, coughing, breathing.
Exactly. Worse from pressure, coughing, and breathing. Any movement there. And the stools, they're described as hard, dry, almost as if burnt.
As if burnt. Wow.
Yeah, and sometimes feeling too large, often worse in the morning, worse from moving, or in hot weather. Again, you see the motion and the heat aggravation.
It's such a consistent theme.
It really is. Now, if we look at female-specific symptoms, the menses, the periods, they can be too early, too profuse.
Worse from motion.
And worse from motion, absolutely, often with tearing pains in the legs.
Okay.
There's also the opposite, suppressed menses, meaning the period doesn't come.
Right.
And with that, you might get a vicarious discharge.
Meaning something else happens instead, like the nosebleed.
Exactly, like the nosebleed we mentioned, or perhaps that splitting headache comes on when the period should have.
Fascinating.
The source also points out stitching pains in the ovaries, specifically on taking a deep breath.
Deep inspiration, yeah.
And they're very sensitive to touch, also potentially hot, painful, hard breasts.
Okay. Let's transition to the respiratory system. What do we see there?
Well, a very characteristic dry hacking cough,
Dry cough.
often worse at night, and it actually requires the person to sit up in bed to cough. They can't cough lying down.
Needs to sit up. Okay.
It's also worse after eating or drinking, sometimes accompanied by vomiting. Those chest stitches, I guess?
That's some in the chest, yeah.
And the sputum, if there is any, is often rust colored.
Rust colored. Got it.
Now, what really stands out here, and again, it might seem counterintuitive,
Yeah.
is that this cough is often worse from coming into a warm room.
Worse going into warmth, not out into the cold.
Exactly. From the cold air into a warm room aggravates the cough. This kind of particularity, it really helps define Bryonia.
Definitely memorable.
And there's also this constant desire, this need to take a long, deep breath to expand the lungs.
Mm-hmm.
But when they cough, there's often a feeling like the chest would fly to pieces. So they have to hold it, support their chest when they cough.
Right, to brace themselves. Okay. Moving to the limbs, the extremities.
Here we find joints that are red, swollen, hot.
Inflamed.
Yes, inflamed, with those stitching and tearing pains again, and unequivocally worse on the least movement.
Back to the core principle.
Absolutely, connects right back. There's also mention of painful stiffness in the nape of the neck and stitches and stiffness in the lower back, sometimes linked specifically to things like hard water or sudden changes in weather.
Wow, even hard water mentioned.
Yeah,
The level of detail.
it's quite something. And briefly, touching on the skin, it can appear yellow, pale, maybe dropsical, which means swollen with fluid,
Edematous, yeah.
hot and painful. Also, often issues with oiliness, seborrhea. The source specifically notes the hair is often very greasy.
Greasy hair, okay. And sleep.
Sleep disturbances, yes. The person might be very drowsy, but then they start like jolt awake just as they're falling asleep.
Startling away.
And if there's delirium, it often circles back to those business matters or wanting to go home that we talked about earlier.
Right, the business delirium.
Okay.
And any specific fever characteristics.
Yes. The pulse is described typically as full, hard, tense, and quick.
Strong pulse.
Often a chill with external coldness may be associated with the dry cough and stitches, but importantly, a distinct internal heat.
Cold outside, hot inside.
That kind of picture, yes. And sweat can be easy and profuse, often sour smelling after even slight exertion.
Okay, so we've gone through head to toe, seen all these specific manifestations. How do we sort of put it all together? This system relies heavily on these modalities, right?
Exactly. The modalities, the specific conditions that make symptoms worse or better are crucial. If we connect this back to the bigger picture, the source just consistently hammers home the worst factors.
Which are?
Warmth, any motion, mornings, eating, hot weather, exertion, touch, And that inability to sit up sometimes because of faintness or nausea.
A lot makes it worse.
A lot makes it worse, yes. But then for relief, the crucial better factors are just as specific.
Okay, what helps?
Lying on the painful side, often pressure helps, so lying on it provides pressure.
Uh,
Absolute rest, of course, and cold things, cold applications.
so lying still on the sore side, maybe with something cold.
That's the general picture of relief, yes. And these modalities, they really provide the essential framework for understanding Bryonia's specific action. They give us that really distinct, memorable picture of the Bryonia patient.
Makes sense.
And the Materia Medica also includes this relationship information, which, gives some insight into how substances are thought to connect within this homeopathic system.
Right, like how they relate to each other.
Exactly. It lists complementary remedies one's thought to work well with or follow Bryonia. Examples given are Upus, Rus, Illumina.
Okay.
Then there are antidotes, substances believed to counteract Bryonia's effects if needed, like aconite, chamomilla, nux vomica. And finally, comparative remedies. These share some similarities but have key differences, like Asclepias tuberosa, Kali muriaticum, Pitelia.
So it helps differentiate.
Precisely. It helps place Bryonia within a larger MAC of remedies, and it even specifies the recommended dose, typically ranging from the 1st to the 12th attenuation.
It refers to the preparation strength in homeopathy.
Yes, the level of dilution and succussion, another very specific detail from the text.
So if we were to summarize the core identity of Bryonia alba, we're really talking about the patient who finds relief only in absolute rest, whose pains are sharp, stitching, tearing,
Worse from motion.
worse from any motion, and who's battling this pervasive dryness and often a really irritable disposition. It's such a distinct profile, isn't it, once you see these patterns?
It really is. And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is just the incredible level of detail and specificity you find in this historical materia medica.
Yeah.
It really shows how meticulous observation, sometimes gathered over centuries, built such a precise, consistent profile for just one single substance.
It's a testament to a certain kind of, scientific inquiry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Focused on patterns, individual responses.
Exactly. Very focused on the nuances of individual experience.
It certainly makes you think, doesn't it? About how understanding such a unique profile might change how you perceive even common ailments, or just how different systems of knowledge approach the human body and how it responds to illness.
Absolutely. And maybe for you listening, it raises an interesting question. What might these really specific, sometimes quite counterintuitive observations from these old texts, like a cough getting worse in a warm room or a nosebleed actually relieving a headache, what might they tell us? About the subtle, maybe interconnected ways our bodies respond to illness, respond to the environment? It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?